Neptune 1 ventured to the deep waters near the coastal city of Hyrule. The team uncovered a thriving marine ecosystem, reclaiming an area shaped by volcanic eruptions millions of years ago, creating unique adaptations in the species that now inhabit these waters.
Does the water on our planet actually come from outer space? What dangers lurk deep in the ocean? Things more dangerous than great white sharks, like unexploded weapons from World War II and massive underwater volcanoes ready to burst. These are the dark reasons NASA refuses to explore the deep sea. Let's kick things off with one of the most mind-bending reasons why NASA may be hesitant to fully explore the deep sea: the potential for extraterrestrial life. Now, what exactly do I mean by this specifically? Well, here's the thing. NASA believes that a lot of Earth's oceans actually came from asteroids that crashed into our planet billions of years ago. How do they know this? Well, the chemical composition of ocean water is quite similar to some of the oldest meteorites in the solar system. So it's plausible that the water we're swimming in now was delivered to us by asteroids billions of years ago. But it gets stranger. When these space rocks collided with Earth, they didn't just bring water, they also brought organic material that's been evolving in our oceans ever since. These materials might even be part of what gave rise to life on Earth. Now, maybe this is a stretch, but what if some of that organic material has continued to evolve in ways we're not ready for? With 95% of our oceans still unexplored, it's possible that we're not alone down there. There could be life forms lurking in the deep that have been evolving in isolation for millions of years, and NASA might want to keep that under wraps. Now let's get into the really spooky stuff. According to some rumors, NASA's 2022 Orpheus expedition may have encountered something in the deep sea, something they may not be willing to share. The mission, which was supposed to study the ocean depths for insights into space exploration, was actually looking in the Hadal Zone, the deepest area of the ocean, but some insiders believe that the team stumbled on something unsettling. A species of massive, never-before-seen marine life that could be hiding in the most extreme depths of the Earth. The story goes that the submersible spotted a creature so huge that one of the astronauts, Garrett Reisman, described its eye as being as big as a flying saucer. This next one's pretty explosive. An underwater volcano located off the coast of Tonga. It made headlines on January 15th of 2022 with an eruption so massive it sent shockwaves around the globe. The explosion was equivalent to 15 million tons of TNT, making it one of the most powerful volcanic events ever recorded. I mean, just look at this. It doesn't look real. It looks like Zeus's wrath on the Earth. This eruption didn't just blow a ton of steam into the air, it actually reshaped the ocean floor too. The area around the volcano was altered, creating a massive cavern that reaches down about 850 meters, or about 2,788 feet down into the Earth's crust. If it continues to deepen, we could be looking at some serious geological consequences. Now, NASA and other scientific organizations monitor volcanic activity pretty closely, but there's probably a good reason why they don't rush into these hot zones. The unpredictability of underwater volcanoes makes them extremely dangerous, and they could potentially trigger devastating events like tsunamis or earthquakes. Next up, let's talk about eddies, kind of like the ocean's version of black holes. Now, we all know black holes in space are terrifying, but did you know that the deep sea has something equally creepy? What you're looking at here is a massive eddy photographed with a NASA satellite back in 2011 off the coast of South Africa. Not something you'd want to get caught up in. Eddies are massive circular currents that can swallow up pretty much everything in their path. And they're not just tiny whirlpools either. I mean, some of them are pretty small, but others, as you've just seen, can get so big you can see them from space. And once you're caught in one like that, there's no escaping. These currents can last for hours, days, or even weeks. Unlike black holes, which might theoretically transport you to another dimension, an eddy's pull is much simpler. You just get sucked in and you drown. Now, NASA has investigated the deep sea to understand extreme environments, which also helps them prepare for deep space exploration. But here's where things get strange. There have been stories circulating about intelligent cephalopods in the ocean's depths. These creatures are said to have sabotaged equipment and even interacted with the submersibles exploring their their territory. Now, is this all just internet rumor? I mean, some of it maybe, but cephalopods like squids and octopuses are known to be rather intelligent animals. Octopuses can be particularly crafty, and the fact that there are now known to be massive-sized squids lurking in the ocean, maybe they could be just as dangerous for underwater exploration as they were for ships sailing the sea back in the day, leading to legends of giant squids pulling sailors into the depths of the water, never to be seen again. Alright, back to alien life. We've all heard the conspiracy theories about UFOs, but have you heard the stories about alien bases hidden underwater? Take the Solomon Islands, for example, where locals have told stories for centuries about strange lights in the sky that disappear into the ocean. What could be going on there, I wonder? It's not just the Solomons either. There have been sightings of unidentified objects hovering over water all around the globe, including mysterious UFOs and glowing lights in places like Alaska and the Mediterranean. Some even claim that they're underwater alien bases. Now, NASA doesn't come out and confirm any of these stories, of course, but they've been involved in some strange underwater research, especially when it comes to studying deep sea environments. Could they know more than they're letting on? Maybe the deep sea is the perfect cover for whatever alien activities are going on beneath the surface. Could NASA be holding back info on alien life in our oceans? And look, it wouldn't be the first time the space agency has kept secrets. Of course, it's not just aliens and volcanoes lurking in the deep. The ocean is home to some of the scariest known creatures imaginable, many of which could pose a real threat to anyone exploring. Giant squids, great white sharks are more well known, but there's a whole list of lesser known creatures too, like the cookie cutter shark, for example, which can and has been known to take chomps out of ships. The deep sea is full of dangers like that, and there's always the possibility of running into something much bigger and far more dangerous than anything we've encountered so far. Think of it this way. In space, it's very unlikely you're gonna run into some dangerous form of life. I mean, deeper out, there's a higher chance for sure, but in the ocean, there are more immediate threats that we know of. Deep sea explorers have reported odd encounters with hostile creatures, and while some of them are definitely just internet folklore, others aren't. Like a case in 1978, when the USS Stein, a Navy ship's sonar equipment, was shredded by what they think was a massive-sized squid. This one is downright weird. NASA's discovery of a city of lights in the middle of the ocean where there's no land to be found. Back in 2012, NASA teamed up with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the NOAA, to release a nighttime map of the Earth. Everything looked normal, except for one bizarre anomaly off the coast of Argentina. The map showed a strange cluster of lights in the middle of the ocean, and it looked like a city complete with patterns that almost resembled an arrowhead or even the Eiffel Tower. The only problem, there's no land in that area, so how could lights be shining there? NASA claimed these were just fishing boats probably, but could there be something bigger going on? Something that for whatever reason, NASA doesn't want us to know about. Well, it wouldn't make sense for me not to mention the triangles. And what do I mean by triangles? Well, I'm talking about areas in the ocean where weird, often terrifying things happen. We've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle, but did you know there are other ones, like the Michigan Triangle? These are locations known for bizarre incidents where ships, planes, and even entire vessels have been known to just vanish without a trace. The Bermuda Triangle is famous for incidents like the disappearance of Flight 19 in 1945, the USS Cyclops in 1918, and the mysterious vanishing of Flight DC-3 in 1948. And there are some spooky theories as to what's happening here. Could it just be dangerous weather? Sure. But others think there's something weirder, possibly, like electromagnetic interference messing with equipment. No one really knows for sure, but what is clear is that there are just too many unexplained disappearances to ignore. And finally, we've got an eerie story from the beaches of England. In 2011, 87 unexploded World War II bombs washed up on Calshot Beach. Now imagine walking along the beach and stumbling across dozens of old bombs. A 5-person bomb squad was sent in to handle the explosives. They cordoned off the area to keep people safe. The bombs were carefully stacked offshore during low tide, and when the tide came in, they were detonated. Luckily, no one was harmed, but it was a close call. Now, this is just one incident. There's still plenty of unexploded ordnance out there. The US government has even reported that 6 nuclear bombs went missing in the ocean, never to be found. NASA's aware of these potential threats, and it makes sense why they'd probably be cautious about venturing into the deep sea. The ocean could be hiding much more dangerous things, and when it comes to losing nukes in the water, yeah, I wouldn't blame them for wanting to steer clear of that. With all that said, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.